Hi everyone, welcome to another video on Battlefield 6. I'm making this video because I had a question on stream about specs and whether or not your system can run this game. Basically, for the minimum requirements, and then I'm going to make it a short video, please follow me on Twitch, please watch me stream on YouTube and comment on videos whenever you see them. That being said, let's dive in. So basically, for minimum requirements, as you can see according to this chart, for 1080p at 30 FPS for low settings at native resolution, all you need at a minimum is a GTX or a G4 RTX 2060, so an NVIDIA 2060, an AMD 5600 XT, or an Intel Arc A380, which are all 6GB GPUs. And then CPU-wise, you'll need an Intel Core i5-8400 or an AMD 5-2600 and 16 gigs of RAM at 2133 megahertz. You can use Windows 10, but asterisk there. You need to enable hardware accelerated GPU scheduling for that, and you'll need DirectX 12, which you'll get anyway. Storage, you'll need about 55 gigs HDD at launch. So you'll need to have these things enabled. So TPM 2.0 enabled, UEFI secure boot enabled, HVCI capable, BBS capable, and that's regardless of the level of equipment that you have at your disposal. But for the recommended settings for native upscaler, so like you're not using anything like DLSS or multi-frame generation or anything like that. For 1440p at 60 FPS high settings, you'll need an NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti or an AMD RX 6700 XT or an Intel Arc B580 and 8 gigs of video memory on those. For the CPUs, you need to get a slightly higher tier, so i7 10700 or 1700 or 10700, AMD Ryzen 7 3700X and 16 gigs of RAM. But for these RAM sticks, you'll need them to be at 3200 megahertz. And then operating system, it'll need to be Windows 11, DirectX 12, 90 gigs of SSD at launch. And for 1080p low settings, at 80 FPS plus, you can use these. For Ultra, which is like the mid tier, I would say, mid to high tier, for 2160 or not native 4K, but close to 4K. At 60 FPS, you'll need an NVIDIA RTX 4080 or a AMD 7900 XTX, and that's at ultra settings. And you'll need 16 gigs of RAM on these GPUs. I personally have a 9070 XT, and I'm playing on medium settings, so I'm getting like close to 144 FPS. It's probably not quite 144 because I have some settings on high, and you can see those in the video of the stream highlight. I'll link it above. I do go over my settings there. I might just make a standalone video for that as well for you guys, just so you know what I'm using with my low-end gear and not the high-end streamer gear that most people have. And then there's, for the CPU in this case, you'll need Intel Core i9, so 12900K, and AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D. Just so you know, I'm running a 5800X, not even the 3D. And 32 gigs of RAM at 800 megahertz, which is what I'm running. And Windows 11 64-bit and DirectX 12, 90 gigs at launch. And for the Ultra plus settings, this is if you have $10,000 lying around to build your big PC. Then you'll need an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080 at a minimum. 16 gigs of RAM on there for the GPU video memory, and Intel Core 9 Ultra 285K, an AMD Ryzen 7 9800 X3D, and 32 gigs of dual channel memory, again 4800 megahertz. DirectX 12, 90 gigs at launch. So basically, as long as even if you haven't upgraded in quite a while, like maybe 2 generations of GPUs, as long as your CPU's been upgraded a little bit, you should be okay. That being said, ideally you want to get to this point, but I know that's easier said than done because that's literally like 4K, maybe 2 or 3K, depending on where you are in the world, to upgrade to this type of system. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions, or if you have any feedback regarding this video, let me know in the comment section below. I hope this helped, and I hope this answers the question for some of you who are wondering whether or not you'll be able to play Battlefield 6 if you haven't already decided to get it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.